So we would basically document, things that had gone wrong in our way. We would document these, and then when we were writing our operations manual for guys like you,
Right.
as they come on, we wanted to make sure you guys didn't make the same mistake. And I hope we've ran true to that.
Absolutely. That manual is amazing.
Well,
It is guidance that I don't require a call. Even though anytime I call, you guys pick up. Anytime I need assistance or guidance or I'm in over my head, you guys are always available for that. But that manual has really been a saving grace as far as having black and white, knowing what I'm doing.
Well, for our viewers who don't really know what an operations manual is or aren't really involved in business, in theory, I should be able to hand over an operations manual to Bryan, never having met him. And in theory, he should be able to operate that business by the spirit and policy and regulation of the system that we developed. So not only do you have access to the operations manual, but Chris and I take great pride that any of our franchisees can pick up the telephone at any time, and if they can't get a hold of Chris immediately, they can typically get a hold of Joseph immediately as well.
Our primary goal was to mentor and guide. So you're never going to be left in the dark, just like it was in the military. A lot of veterans experience that they don't have that sense of camaraderie, that leadership, that sense of purpose. They don't have someone guiding them in the right direction. Not that we dictate your everyday life. Yeah, it's just when you have questions of us, that's not covered in the operations manual. Tell us about that. What are some times maybe you've had some situations and you needed to get Chris or Joe on the phone? How was that communication process? How easy was it made for you?
Well, if I call, you guys pick up. But some of the situations that arise, a large clean out, a dirty clean out, hot tubs were kind of a hot commodity there for a little while. I needed to know about, I didn't know that there are better tools for disposal of stuff. I didn't know that, and these are all things that were in the manual, but they were questions that I still had that I needed to build on.
You like to hear from guys that have been in the trenches,
Absolutely.
that have been boots on the ground, and who have performed the task that's in question.
Yes.
You know that Joseph and I, as years building up to Troops Haul Junk, chances are the situations that you encounter on a day-to-day operation, we've already encountered.
Absolutely.
Junk removal is, a lot of people think junk removal is just picking this up and putting it in a trailer. Yeah. There is legalities, there's the business end of it.
Logistical nightmares sometimes.
Logistical nightmares. There's certain lessons learned of how to do certain things. So, we're really happy that you're succeeding. What does your wife think about all this?
My wife is 100% on board. She really understood that I needed something that was going to be beneficial to our future. She really knew that as the conversations went on after we met and spoke, the conversations that went on, she was really supportive, and she gets out there with me from time to time. She's been known to get out there and lift up some stuff. So she's been very supportive of the overall Troops Haul Junk goal. And
yeah, because when you get into business, it's not just me running my own business or Chris running his. It sometimes turns out to be a whole family thing, and if your significant other, spouse, what have you, isn't on board, there's a good possibility your business is not going to succeed. So we invest a lot of time to understanding that your spouse is on board, because
that's a prerequisite.
That's a prerequisite,
Of course.
Life can be easy or life can be tough. It's tough enough growing a business without having your spouse on board.
Right.
Happy wife,
Absolutely.
happy life, right?
That's fact.
Happy wife, happy life, yeah. As you look back from where you were when you were first getting out, what kind of changes personally have you seen in yourself being a business owner?
So leaving the military, I felt like I lost an awful lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. Like I had soldiers, I had equipment, I had manpower. So one of the things that I think that really changed for me was that there was an opportunity for development. Like, so I got to develop myself. I got to develop my own skills by myself. Whereas normally I was a member of a team.
Mm.
So
amen.
You feel that way again?
Absolutely. Yes.
That's a camaraderie aspect,
Yes.
which veterans tend to lose when they leave the military and we get into a funk. I was in a funk, but being that we all are on common ground, like I always mention, you put two veterans in a room who don't know each other, within 5 minutes, they're going to find common ground. And that's one of the shining points about what we do, is that we still remember and we hold dear to our hearts that we're one team and one fight, and we're here to support each other to accomplish the mission.
Absolutely. And that has been what I feel like. I have a mission now. I have an opportunity for that mission. My days are never the same. My pickups are never the same. It's always been kind of, well, I can't say that. It's been, since I started Troops Hall Junk, it's been the growth, like my personal growth. Like, I'm more responsible. I'm more in tune with what I need to do. Whereas before, when I was getting rejected all the time, it was just, oh man, again.
And it's fun, right? I mean,
it is fun.
Chris, how fun is it? Because junk removal is like a treasure hunt. You never, one man's junk is another man's treasure, literally. You've been in my home many times, Chris. Almost everything, every piece of furniture. We were just at Chris's house last night. Bryan and I put the coffee cup on his table, and then we realized, so we're wiping the water, and Chris's wife said, no. That was a junk removal table. Don't worry, it's okay. So it's always a treasure hunt, man.
That did happen.
It did happen.
And if it's not fun, don't do it.
Facts.
Life is too short to not do something that you don't enjoy.
For me, it's not only the fun aspect, and I'm sure you guys can relate, and you, Bryan, especially. You're for one, you're getting out and you're meeting new people in your community, and you're seeing different walks of life. There's never two, like I said, there's never two jobs the same, and there's that rewarding factor. Yeah, you find some cool finds and stuff like that. Maybe your friend's been looking for something, you find that special tool or that item they were looking for, and you give it to them, and you know how it makes you feel. Or maybe there's that veteran that's looking for, he's looking for a donation of some sort of material or some item that a veteran might need, or an elderly person might need, and you're able to find that and give it to them, or you're able to just clear someone's clutter, and it just changes their whole world.
It does.
That to some people it might seem so simple to clear out that basement, but some of these people haven't been able to get in their basements 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Because they're overwhelmed with the clutter and the junk, and you come in and free up their space, and they're just overwhelmed with joy. Have you experienced that?
Absolutely. When I get on site for a job and I start to see what they're asking for and what their needs are, and then you could just see their once there's a decision, we've agreed on everything, they just kind of uplift, and as things are removed, you can kind of see that weight, and they kind of see them.
You feel you're making a true impact in their life.
Absolutely, and then on top of that,
you have a purpose.
That stuff's like we were saying, so one man's junk is another man's treasure. Yeah. So I've had opportunities where I got to network with schools and I got to network with the community. So like I did a bike donation. We actually donated 12 bicycles to a school in our area because they were trying to do some opportunities for their students to learn how to maintain and ride bikes, and that was cool.
Well, when we were initially speaking, and Chris and I kind of developed this aspect of the brand, is that we always highly suggest that every new franchisee choose a local nonprofit, good cause, or charity that they can become a part of and embed with. We just think it's our way of giving back to the community. But on a second note, going back to one of the things you said earlier, it's not like when we go to a customer's home, they aren't happy to see us. They are always happy to see us. It's not like we're a political door knocker. They are happy to see us, and even happier when we leave because we've given them their space back.
Yeah.
And for me personally, something that we haven't touched on is a lot of us veterans deal with PTSD for, whatever way, shape, or form. But for me, at least in my particular area of Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area, I network with a lot of veterans and first responders via my junk removal business. The majority of my customers are Marines or government workers, and it's just a way that I can feel whole again because, like I said, we always find common ground. And after the job is done, we spend a couple of minutes just shooting the stuff.
Absolutely.
Have you experienced that in your area of Pueblo as well?
Absolutely. Right there in Pueblo, we're just south of Fort Carson, so there's In Colorado Springs,
There's a lot of military there.
5 or 6 military installations.
Yeah.
So one of the great things is that I have that ability that I've been where they're at, and so there's that
connection.
common ground. Yes,
Yeah,
instantly.
yeah.
As soon as I get up there, even the Space Force guys, they're while they're coming in, they're excited. They're ready to do their job, and they're ready to move out or do whatever they're going to do. And Space Force is great.
It's a great way, being in any business period, if you're cut out for it, because it is challenging, but it's a great way to find yourself again, provide for your family, because it does feel good to be able to provide for you. As the leader of the family, you want to be the breadwinner, right? You want to lead the family to success as a whole. And, Chris has a really unique story as well. The way we met was Chris couldn't, I'll let him tell it, but in essence, he couldn't quite find his place as well. He was landscaping, and, really, landscapes don't make a lot of money. Tell us a little bit about that, Chris.
Yeah, so I was in landscape operations, lawn care, and things of that nature. And I actually had a client who was a widow of a Marine who was mortally wounded in Afghanistan, and she needed to declutter her home. She was downsizing, needed to get rid of some furniture and things like that. And I actually stumbled across Joe on a YouTube video because I was doing my own research as far as what to charge. I had never heard of that service before. I didn't really know how to go about junk removal. Where to take once I pick up the items, where do I take them? Where do I donate them? Where do I dump them? And through that, I come across one of Joe's videos and found out that he was Army and infantry, and we connected pretty quickly on that, and kind of had to, as I've shared before, had like-minded ideas.
And it was one of those things that I was making those videos not to monetize them. I was really making those videos to share with other veterans who were maybe not whole, maybe dealing with PTSD, and I was finding relief from this. And I just wanted to do a good thing and help my fellow warrior brothers and sisters. And through that media, I met Chris, and on social media, I was introduced to Bryan and I connected, and we meet a lot of veterans that way. So I just want to suggest that if you're out there and you're watching this video and, it doesn't cost anything to reach out via email or call us directly, because our telephone number's all over the place. And maybe you're thinking about getting into business, or maybe you're thinking about the junk removal industry, and maybe a franchise is not right for you, or maybe it is, but you're not going to ever know unless you make that call. You got to believe in yourself, man. I mean, it's tough when you're going through the funk to find yourself, but we're just one way, one method.
Yeah, Bryan, and we appreciate you coming on, answering our questions, telling us your story. May have you back for a future episode just to check in on you and see how you're doing.
Outstanding, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you coming.
We want to thank every one of our viewers. Every one of you guys are important to us. The Success After Service podcast doesn't move without our viewers. So please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any ideas about future shows, please leave them in the comment section. If you want to be a guest because maybe you're succeeding after military service, please reach out to us via the comment section. We'd love to hear from you.